Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Saturn in conjunct Pluto in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Saturn in conjunct Pluto in your natal chart, an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between activities that involve the work and career, which is Saturn, and the things you have a strong passion and desire for, which is Pluto. Now, one or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find the balance, the harmony, the equilibrium between the two. So, the thing is, let's say, if you have Pluto, Virgo in the fifth house like me, there may be a very intense passion and desire for analytical, intellectual amusement and enjoyment. Pluto, say, if you have it in Scorpio, fourth house is another example. There may be very strong passion and desire for the transformation of the home. It could be a person that's involved with a lot of renovation, remodeling of one's home life, or it could be doing something with the occult, which includes astrology out of the home, or something else Scorpio related, such as working in insurance or recycling, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that another way Saturn in conjunct Pluto may manifest in the natal chart is there may be an imbalance, which is the inconjunct, between activities that involve the father, which is Saturn, and your intimate connections, which is Pluto. Now, you may be dominated by one or the other. And the thing is, let's say, if you have Saturn and Taurus in the natal chart, the activities, or I should say the father, the father himself may actually be a Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be somebody that's very stolid and passive, loyal, steadfast, trustworthy, persistent, patient, persevering, but may also be stubborn, obstinate, and materialistic as well. Now, another thing about this aspect in the natal chart, it could also be where there's too much or too little concentration, which is Saturn, on what you have a strong passion and desire for, which is Pluto. At times you may have a lot of intense concentration, on what you have the strong passion and desire for, to the point where you're just like oblivious to everything else. Then there can be other times where those things that you have, the strong passion and desire for, you may just put to the side, and not even be focused on it, at all, and you might forget about it for, prolonged or protracted period. So, let's say, if Pluto is in, say you have it in the second house, there may be a strong passion and desire, for doing things, that are, money related, accumulating possessions, buying and selling. Pluto and Libra in the seventh house is another example. There may be a very intense passion and desire for competition that involves balance, such as tennis or gymnastics, as an example. Now, or Pluto in Aquarius in the 10th house could be the intense passion, desire for a career that may be tied in with astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, as some examples. Now, also too, another way Saturn in conjunct Pluto may manifest in the natal chart is there may either you may either work extremely hard, very laboriously, which is Saturn, on making a major change or transformation, which is Pluto, and And then there may be times where you put forth no effort in doing so whatsoever. So when you're talking about inconjuncts in astrology, there can be a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy. It's very extreme. You can have something go one way 1 minute and then the opposite, just the next. And again, as I stated before, it's about finding the equilibrium, the balance, the harmony with the energy. Now, the thing is, let's say you're going back, Pluto in the 4th house again, the major change or transformation, may often be tied in with one's home life, or one's traditions. It could be, people that you're close to home with. Pluto in the 12th house can be like, a major, maybe a spiritual transformation of a spiritual nature. Or somehow with the assistance of the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Pluto in the 9th house can be some transformation or metamorphosis connected with one's philosophy, one's beliefs, or could be a religious transformation as some examples. Now, another thing, too, is that there may be, times where you may sacrifice, which is Neptune, a lot. And for those you're in intimate relationships and shared resources scenarios, which is Pluto. And then, other times, you just may go completely stagnant in that area and not, sacrifice at all, for them. Again, it's about finding, the balance, with this energy. And, Neptune in the 2nd can be one that sacrifices a lot of their resources, things of a monetary nature, their possessions. Pluto in the 1st house can be a point where the person might expend a lot of their energy and vitality when, really in terms of sacrificing for others. It could be, another thing. Neptune the 3rd could be sacrificing the time, through short journeys, by communicating, perhaps, in some cases. Another thing about, this aspect, Saturn in conjunct Pluto in the natal chart may also be expressed, and at times expressing an exorbitant amount of passion and emotional intensity, which is Pluto, for career and work-related matters, which is Saturn. Then other times, none whatsoever. It could be, where the person is more apathetic in those career and work-related matters, more stolid and passive. Now, let's say, for example, Saturn is in Virgo. Work-related matters may be tied in. It could be some work involving health or fitness, such as a fitness instructor, working as a dietitian, nutritionist, something with cleaning, sanitation, analytics, or statistics as some examples. And also, too, another way that Saturn in conjunct Pluto may manifest in the natal chart is that chronic issues, which is Saturn you may deal with, may either at times have an extremely adverse effect, which on anything Pluto related, which can include dealing with crisis, shared resources, support, or there may be other times where there is no effect at all, where they may not have any effect on these matters, and you're just able to go about, what you're doing Pluto related with them very freely. Now, let's say, for example, if Saturn is in Pisces, chronic issues may be tied in with the feet, the toes, the pineal gland, the lymphatic or immune system. As some examples, it may be something tied in with weakness, dissolving, dissipation, lethargy. Saturn in Taurus may have chronic issues in the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the esophagus. Saturn in Capricorn may have chronic related issues connected with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.